What's going on, my fellow Kino Lords? So tonight I'm going to be doing my Oscar predictions video. Tomorrow is the 2024 Oscars Academy Awards ceremony. And I'm a little bit late to the party, but better late than never, right? I got my Oscar ballot right here, and I'm just going to kind of go through these and give you my prediction in terms of what I think the Academy will choose. Not my personal favorites, but what I think the Academy-minded people will choose to win these awards. And then afterwards, I'm going to give a quick Best Picture ranking. I'm going to rank all the Best Picture winners from 10 to 1 and just let y'all know where I stand there. But yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's just go ahead and dive right into this thing. So let's start with Best Animated Feature. So with Best Animated Feature, the nominees are The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So I am predicting Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to take this award. Am I happy about that? Not at all. Did I even see the movie? Not at all. I want The Boy and the Heron to win. Is that unfair that I want a movie that I haven't even seen to lose? Maybe, and you can say that all day long, but at the end of the day, can we just get a non-Disney and a more like original movie to win? Like, can we just make this happen? Like, Disney has just been dominating this shit for so long, and I'm tired of seeing like the same old win. I understand that Across the Spider-Verse in its own right is probably a really good movie. I've seen the first one. I thought it was good. I honestly wasn't blown away by it. I thought it was good for what it was. But I honestly would really, really love to see Miyazaki win one last award, probably. Man's 80 years old, and the fact that he was able to create something in the same and with the magnitude of The Boy and the Heron, to me is just insanely impressive. So I would love to see The Boy and the Heron win, but I just think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is going to win. That's just my opinion. So let's go to Best International Feature Film. Nominees: In Capitano, Perfect Days, Society of the Snow, The Zone of Interest, and The Teacher's Lounge. So I have The Zone of Interest taking this award, and I'd be happy if it won because it's a really fucking great movie. Now, if Perfect Days pull the upset, that'll be incredible. I just watched that movie with the Atlanta trio, Perry and Blair. I just actually put out a video review for it. If anybody who wants to check it out, it's up there on the channel. I don't think it will, though, because it didn't get nominated in any other category, and The Zone of Interest got nominated all over the place. So I think the film with the best possible chance to win is The Zone of Interest. So that's what I'm going with. All right, let's go with Best Sound. So this one's a really interesting toss-up because, well, I guess I should just go ahead and read the nominees, which are The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. So the reason why this is interesting is because The Zone of Interest has a decent chance to win because the entire appeal of the film and the entire reason why that film stands out so much amongst the rest is because of obviously the craft, but a huge part of the craft is the craft behind the sound design in general. And there's a chance it could win. But I am going to go with Oppenheimer. I just think, well, it's a much bigger, grander scale film. I think the sound effects are much more like apparent for most viewers, especially with the whole atomic bomb sequence and the whole kind of encouraging everybody to go see this film in IMAX. I just think in terms of sound, it's probably going to take, it has a better chance. But if the Zone of Interest won, I would be pretty happy about that personally. So yeah, I'm picking Oppenheimer to win sound. Best production design, we got Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. All right, so I'm going to be picking Barbie for this one. I just think there's something about that Barbie Land aesthetic that I think the Academy is just kind of, they're just going to go for. I mean, I think it was pretty awesome too, don't get me wrong. But if I had to pick, I mean, honestly, I'd probably pick Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things over Barbie. I mean, I'm sure there's some that might disagree with that, but I think overall they have much more impressive creative work when it comes to production design. Anyway, but I do think Barbie's gonna win. And if it won, I'm not gonna be upset or anything. I can see why it won. All right, let's go to best documentary feature. You have Ruby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Mariupol. I picked 20 Days in Mariupol because that's just what the Gold Derby odds said had the best chance to win. I haven't seen any of those films, so I'm just going with whatever has the best odds in that department. So, anyway, let's just move on because I don't really have much to say there. Best adapted screenplay. We have American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I'm going to go with, might be kind of a shock, but I'm going to go with American Fiction. Not that I think it necessarily deserves it. It's not my favorite. I have seen the film, by the way. I didn't review it, but if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a soft 7 out of 10. So it's a good movie. I just think it's a very screenplay-based film. A lot of the film's foundation is rooted within its screenplay, and I think the Academy will recognize that fact. I mean, Oppenheimer is the second best chance to win, at least in my opinion. I think that's, if it's not American Fiction, it's going to be Oppenheimer. If Oppenheimer wins, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I would prefer that over American Fiction, but I just think American Fiction has the best chance to win. It got nominated for a bunch of stuff. I thought the one award that it will get is screenplay. I mean, the film is about basically a writer and as also a screenwriter in a way. So yeah, that's my prediction. Let's move on to best original screenplay. Nominees: Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. I got Anatomy of a Fall to take that, and that is not only the film that I want to win, but is a film that I think will actually win. Yeah, I think that is the best chance to win amongst all these films. And that's really awesome because if it wins, it might actually have a chance to win Best Picture, which I'll get to in a little bit. But that will be awesome if it won, and I do think it will win. Just fantastic film all around. One of the best courtroom dramas that I've ever seen. And it's not even a conventional courtroom drama. It does so much. It dives into so many different things that your average courtroom drama doesn't necessarily do. And I really appreciated it for that. So yeah, moving on to best makeup and hairstyling. You have Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. All right, so I'm going to pick Maestro. And it kind of hurts me because personally, if I could pick the one that I think should win and deserves it more, it's Poor Things. To me, the makeup and hairstyling in that film is incredible. Especially when you consider Willem Dafoe's character and everything like that. So personally, I think Poor Things deserves it. But I could just see them giving that to Maestro because of Bradley Cooper's old person, transformation. So, and to its credit, it is a really credible transformation. It looks very, very convincing. And you just know it took a lot of talent and creative effort to make it look that convincing. So anyway, even though I don't really want Maestro to win, I guess I could understand it, but I still will be a little bit upset. Moving on to best costume design, you have Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. So I actually went with Poor Things. Now I think this is kind of a risk here because I think most people are going with Barbie. I think that actually does have the best chance to win. But I don't think the Academy is really going to give Barbie that much awards. And I think that the Academy is more geared towards period pieces. Poor Things isn't necessarily a period piece, but in another way, it kind of is. And I also think that there's just this really odd, surrealist element to the costume design that I feel like will appeal a lot to the Academy. So I don't know. I think Poor Things is going to take that, honestly. So let's move on to Best Cinematography. We have El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'm actually going to go with Oppenheimer, and I think that's just, honestly. If not Oppenheimer, probably Poor Things, because that film is shot incredibly well as well. But either one, I'm fine with, honestly. But I do think that Oppenheimer has the best chance to win. All right. Honestly, think that The Zone of Interest should have been nominated in that category. Personally, but whatever. Best original song, I picked What Was I Made For? Out of the nominees that are The Fire Inside, I'm Just Ken, which honestly I would prefer I'm Just Ken to win. That song was an absolute blast and made Barbie like that much more memorable and super entertaining. So if I'm Just Ken pulled an upset for the Barbie song, I would be ecstatic. That'd be amazing. But I think that Billie Eilish is going to take that. So that's what it is. Best original score, we have American Fiction, Indiana Jones, and The Dial of Destiny. Not The Pick of Destiny, The Dial of Destiny. Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. So I'm going to be choosing Oppenheimer for best original score. It does have a very intense and effective score. Personally, if I could choose, I would choose Poor Things. I think the score in that film is very odd and in some ways charming and endearing, but in another way just kind of unsettling and weird and twisted. And in some ways liberating, but in a dark way. And I don't know. I like scores that contribute a very conflicting yet compelling emotion to them, and I think Poor Things really achieved that. Anyway, but that being said, I think Oppenheimer will take it. And it does have a great score, so I mean, I'm not gonna complain too much, I guess. Even like Killers of the Flower Moon, that has a really great score. But I just don't think I don't think it's gonna win. Best film editing, we have Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I think Oppenheimer is going to take that. I think Oppenheimer is going to take a lot of these awards if you haven't already told yet. But yeah, I just not really much to dive in there. I just think that's almost like an obvious choice. Best visual effects, you have The Creator, Godzilla -1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible, and Napoleon. I'm going to give that award to Godzilla -1, and I hope it wins. I understand if something like The Creator wins, because like it's more grand scale, and there's just a lot more work going on into it, I think. I haven't even seen it, but just from what I've heard in the trailer and the clips that I've seen, it seems that's the case. But considering what Godzilla -1 was able to do on its half-ass budget, I think you all just got to give it the award. Like, I think that's also that should also be something that's taken into account, is the resources that they had and what they were able to achieve. And I hope that they consider that and give the award to Godzilla -1. Because not only were the effects like really great for what they had, but it's just a really good movie. But moving on to Best Supporting Actor, we got Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling, Barbie, Robert De Niro for The Killers of the Flower Moon, Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. I got Robert Downey Jr. Winning for Oppenheimer. And honestly, that's probably just. I feel as me personally, honestly, not even that. I think Robert deserves it. But I was going with like a personal favorite. I'd probably go with like Mark Ruffalo, because Mark Ruffalo is just he's like a scumbag in the movie, but he's also super pathetic and hilarious, and he had to really deliver like an unusual performance in comparison to the rest of these nominees, and I just really loved him in that film. Robert De Niro is also great, but I just don't think he's going to win it. but he was also like menacing in a very subtle way that I really enjoyed. Anyway, best supporting actress, which honestly this category is an absolute shit show, but I'll read it. It's Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, Emily Blunt Oppenheimer, Jodie Foster for Niyad, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, and America Ferrera Barbie. Honestly, I don't really hear anybody talking about any of these performances except for Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. And that's who I got picking. That is, I saw that film and she was really, really great in the film. And I just think that's honestly that's definitely a lock for me. Like I just think I don't see any other actress winning in this category besides her. So I don't know. There's no, I think that it's just kind of a boring, shitty category that didn't need to be that way, but it is what it is. The Academy is gonna Academy, right? Let's go with Best Actor. You got Paul Giamatti, Holdovers, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction, Coleman Domingo for Rustin. Is that what it says? Rustin? Bradley Cooper for Maestro. Now, we all know that Bradley Cooper is desperate for this award, right? He wants this award, I think, more than anybody, because the movies that he keeps making makes it very apparent that he is desperate for the adoration and the admiration from the Academy. But I don't think they're going to give it to him. I think they're going to give that award to actually Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. It's kind of a toss-up right now between Paul Giamatti and Cillian Murphy. Those are the people that I think have the best chances to win this award. But I think Paul Giamatti's he's gonna pull out with the win here, because I think I wasn't like in love with The Holdovers, but his performance is like a gigantic part of why that film was entertaining and very charming and enjoyable. So I don't know. I think the Academy might see that and give him the award. Kind of a risk in my opinion to choose him, but we'll see what happens. All right, moving on to Best Actress. Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Emma Stone, Poor Things, Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan, Maestro, and Annette Bening for Niyad. So for me personally, it's a toss-up between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. And I'm going to go with Lily Gladstone. I just think the Academy's going to pick her. And not only that, she was phenomenal in the film. And I think she deserves it. Emma Stone does kind of deserve it too, because she really had to go there and do some shit for Poor Things. And I think that not only did she have a really like odd and difficult character to portray, but again, she had to be pretty willing for this role, and I highly respect that. But I think Gladstone's gonna take it. So, and it's well deserved. I think she's phenomenal in the film. All right, Best Director, Nolan for Oppenheimer, Scorsese, Flower Moon, Lanthimos, Poor Things, Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. This one's kind of tough. Honestly, I think it's between Nolan or Glazer. I think Glazer actually does have a decent chance to win, but I'm gonna go with Nolan. Oppenheimer, I think it's gonna be Oppenheimer's night overall. We'll see if that changes with Best Picture coming up. But overall, I think it's going to be Oppenheimer's like night. And honestly, Nolan kind of deserves it at this point. He's never won an Oscar for Best Direction. And if he's going to win an Oscar for any movie, I think it's going to be Oppenheimer. As much as it would be really cool to see like Lanthimos win or Glazer win or Triet win or Scorsese, it's honestly probably the best category in the entire ballot. But I'm going to go with Nolan. Best Picture. The Big Kahuna. We got American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Past Lives, and The Zone of Interest. I am going to go with... Well, let's think about this for a second. It is between... Honestly, I think the three films that have the best chance to win this award is Anatomy of a Fall, Oppenheimer, and actually The Zone of Interest. And I think that the Oscar for Best Picture is going to go to Oppenheimer. It's not necessarily my favorite pick. I don't, and you'll find out when I do the ranking after this. But I just think that overall, everything is kind of just gearing towards that Best Picture Oppenheimer win. It seems to be a pretty safe pick overall. Doesn't seem like a pick that's going to ruffle that many feathers. And it honestly, like, even though I wouldn't be like the most ecstatic about the pick, I can understand why it would win if it does win. But personally, if I could pick a film to win, it would be Anatomy of a Fall. That is, like, in comparison to all these films, that was my favorite film. I mean, my favorite film of the year was Beau Was Afraid, but we all know that the Academy ain't gonna recognize that shit for anything. But I would rather that win or The Zone of Interest or Poor Things or Killers of the Flower Moon. I have like 5 other favorites to win that I would personally want to win besides Oppenheimer, but I think Oppenheimer's gonna take it. So yeah, that's the ballot. Let's go and move on to my rankings. So I'm gonna rank Best Picture starting from 10, slowly moving up to 1. And at number 10, I have Maestro. Look, it's not a bad movie. It's an okay movie. I gave it a soft 6 out of 10. It's serviceable. Bradley Cooper is good in the role. Makeup's good. Carey Mulligan's actually great. I think I actually prefer her performance more than Bradley Cooper. But, I mean, it's nothing that special. Like, it's one of those Oscar movies that you watch once and you never think about ever again. Number 9, we have Past Lives. Now, I know Mike get some shit because I know there's like some really hardcore Past Lives fans out there. Look, it's a good movie. I gave it a soft 7 out of 10. It didn't resonate with me all that much within like the first 2 acts of the movie. But I do think the third act of the film is fantastic and really is what made me like the movie overall. But it's just not my favorite amongst a lot of these movies. But it's still a pretty good movie. Number 8, we have American Fiction. I watched that recently, and I also enjoyed that, decently. I gave that a soft 7. Don't really have much to say about it. It's just a really, like, great and funny, like, satirical comedy/drama about people having to pander their artistry to, like, the rich white elites of the industry, and it's pretty entertaining overall. Anyway, let's go to number 7, which is The Holdovers. Really funny and entertaining movie, charming as well. Again, I wasn't in love with it, but it is a pretty good movie, and I can see myself actually coming back to The Holdovers eventually, because Paul Giamatti's great in it, and it's just kind of a easy-to-watch movie overall. Number 6, we have Barbie, which is just an awesome movie. I really, really dug Barbie. It's referential as hell. It's both really stupid, but also clever as hell, in my opinion. Yeah, it's got female empowerment all over it, but it's fucking Barbie. Can you not let women have Barbie? Like, what the fuck's y'all's problem? But yeah, I enjoyed Barbie a lot. I think it's a great time. Number 5, Oppenheimer. I slightly enjoyed Oppenheimer more than Barbie. Just because, like, from a technical standpoint, it's fantastic. From a direction standpoint, it was really engaging. I always found myself to have some sort of investment in it, and I really like where the film leads within the third act of the film, and it just has a lot of excellent craft behind it, and it just made it really, really entertaining to watch. But anyway, moving on to number 4, we have Poor Things from Yorgos Lanthimos, or I like to call him Yogurt Lanthimos, and obviously I've already talked a lot about it. It's fucking weird, awesome, silly, dark, sex-driven, like, comedy satire thing, and it's just a really surrealistic fun time. Really great film. Number 3, we have The Zone of Interest. That is my 3rd favorite film of the Best Picture ranking. Did a whole review on that. I did a lot of reviews on a lot of these films, so if you want to check all that out, please do. The Zone of Interest is just great. Like, the reason why I love that film so much is because of the craft itself and the concept. It just takes a lot of delicacy and maturity to craft a film like that and stretch it out for a full-length feature, and I think Jonathan Glazer did an excellent job with it. Really great film, and Free Palestine, by the way. Number 2, we got Killers of the Flower Moon. That might be a controversial pick considering how high it is, but you know, I love that film. I think Scorsese knocked it out of the park yet again. I think he tackles an incredibly important topic that I think needs to have light shed all over it. And I think he fucking killed it. Everybody in this film, I think, absolutely killed it. I love the ending to this film as well. The ending is fantastic. Another example of Martin Scorsese just pushing boundaries in ways that he hasn't had before, getting out of his comfort zone, and I just think it's really, really something. Martin Scorsese is an absolute treasure, one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. And then my favorite film amongst all these films is Anatomy of a Fall, if you haven't guessed yet. Just an incredible film. I already talked a lot about it, but from a screenwriting standpoint, fantastic. Direction standpoint, acting standpoint, even the kid actor in this film killed it. Even the dog actor in this film killed it. Awesome movie all around, and I just really, really love it. Can't wait to watch that one again. That's it, guys. That's it. I didn't expect this video to be this long, but whatever, it is what it is. I'll just go ahead and end. I don't really have much to say. If you really enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.